on here very long because I have the stove on, but I did want to show you what I was working on, and I got to get ready before it gets dark to move some of the plants that we've been hardening off. So if you haven't seen the video where we planted up this first raised bed, I started off, but remember I told you I'll probably come back with some more things after I got some more plants hardened off. So we're done with this except for the two plants that you see right here. I'm going to take these back inside. This is alyssum, and I have this corner just kind of waiting for them to be hardened off, ready to go. And then we're going to do the alyssum right here on the corner. It smells so good. If you haven't grown alyssum before, it has a really sweet scent to it. These are the white ones that we started from seed, but I actually got some that are like a multicolor, a pink, purple, and white. It's like a mix. So we're going to plant this. Also, I wanted to share with you, I'm really watching this plant right here. I feel like it's trying, but it'll make it through. But really quickly, I want to share with you, because again, I feel like we're done with this bed except for these, and then I'll show you what I've been working on. And what I will probably do is, after I get all of the 4 raised beds planted, we'll do like a small garden tour. Not of the whole garden, but my goal is to get the 4 raised beds on this side planted. So make sure that you watch the full video, because we kind of went over some of the things that we planted in this bed. But I also wanted to share with y'all, I feel like today was 74, but the temperatures are going to drop. We're in Georgia zone 8A. And so one of the reasons why I have these, there's some type of ladder apparatus that you get from Home Depot, but I use these as supports. And so one of the things that I put these up for is, number one, if I have to use a frost blanket, because I did see where the temperatures are getting down to 28, or if I have to use a shade cloth. Either one, but this is why I have the supports up for that. Now, as I was watching, it was 74 today. During the middle of the day, I felt like some of the plants that we have, like they were starting to droop. And when it droop, it doesn't necessarily mean that it needs to be watered. Sometimes that's a plant way of protecting itself, either from the heat or the cold. So I'm going to watch the temperatures. And if I need to, I'm going to put a shade cloth over here. I think my shade cloth is about 50% shade. So I'll just do that until they get grown or grow a little bit bigger. But 2 plants, is it 2 or 3 plants that I add? Maybe 3 plants. So we're going to put the alyssum right here. We added some more violas that were right here. If you look very, very closely, we also added some lettuce plants right here. And then back here in the back, we added some of the bachelor buttons that we had hardened off. And I was thinking that these are going to get a little bit tall and they'll have like a blue color. So I also went ahead and I mulched everything. So this bed, with the exception of the alyssum, and I feel like I'm going to give this probably about another 5 to 7 days to harden off, and then we'll be ready. This bed will be done. But let me show you real quick what I've been working on, and I'm going to mulch it real quick, and then I'm going to take all of the plants that I brought out today, and we're going to put those back in the seed starting area. So again, go watch the video. We just put it up maybe yesterday or the day before. It just kind of goes over all of the other plants that we put in here. And what I did want to tell you is, sometimes when you plant plants, like if you take them out the pot and you put them in this location, you really have to watch them over the next few days or the next week, just to make sure that they're adapting. That's why I really have had my eye on this one. This one sometimes seems like it just want to struggle just a little bit, but I know that it will pop back out. And it was so many snapdragons. I think this one gets maybe about maybe about 18 to 24 inches. We're going to see, but I thought that was a nice color. Now, when I plant my beds, sometimes I'll do similar, but not exactly the same because I'm working with different plants. And so over here, what I did today, and I'll do a separate video on it, is I mirrored this to this. So over here we have violas, we have the bun, calendula. Back here we have the collards. Now I'm going to go and make sure I may plant sweet peas, the vegetable, on here. We had them on the other trellis last season, and I like to kind of rotate my plants around a little bit. So I'm thinking about it. But if I do, what I do with the sweet peas is I soak the seeds overnight and I direct sow. I don't start seeds in like cell trays like some of the other ones. Those are ones that I'll just plant directly in the soil. But I'm still thinking about it. But this first part right here, we did mirror. Now I know it may seem little to you all, but they're going to get bigger. So if you're not subscribed, be sure that you subscribe. So we still have like a musclin mix. We have more lettuce plants that we put right here. We have the mustard. We have arugula. I think these are arugula. And then we put a different type of viola that is right here. And we just kind of mirrored the snapdragon in the back. And back here, this is a new variety of broccoli that I'm going to try. Normally, broccoli takes up a lot of space and sometimes is fidgety. So this particular broccoli is Castle Dome broccoli. Now they say you could space it about 12 inches apart, and it takes about 50 days to, make the broccoli head and you can harvest it. So we're going to see about that. Now, I am one about looks. What I did is I had lavender right here, but I cut it back. It was really woody, but I didn't want to get rid of the plant. So what I did is pulled it up and I put it in pots. And then we'll see if we can just kind of bring it back to its fullness because it didn't look good. But what I've started doing, if you remember, we started fern leaf lavender from seed. And so this is going to replace right here, but we're in the hardening off phase, so I'm not going to plant it. I'm actually going to take these two back inside. And then I put some more bachelor buttons right here. I got 4 more bachelor buttons left right here that we'll probably do something with. So now all I have to do is just come in and mulch it again with the straw mulch. And I know that this straw mulch is not a good batch, but we'll just pull it out as it rains and as it pops up. But you'll see this part, this is bun calendula as well that we put right here. But you'll start to see over the next few days that this is going to start getting full. It's going to start getting bigger, and all of this area is going to fill up. I'm still working on myself about instant gratification because I like for things to be full and lush. But it's a process. And so I'm learning that. I am learning it. But I feel like it's going to be a beautiful and a colorful bed. If you're new to the channel, you know that I always do vegetables, flowers, and herbs together. And so the herbs are the lavender, and it's also the thyme. We've had this thyme for a while. The flowers are the violas, the calendulas, the snapdragons, and the bachelor buttons. And the vegetables are the broccoli, the lettuce, and we got some spinach in here as well. So we're just going to top it off with a fresh thing of mulch. Again, I'm thinking about putting the sweet peas so that they can be able to trail up. The sweet peas, the vegetable, on here. And then this bed will be complete. So we'll have 2 complete beds, and then we'll start working on the other ones. I think once I do all 4 beds on this side, then we'll do a garden tour and show you what we're working with, because I have to get to the in-ground beds as well. I'm just going to kind of snip the snapdragons just a little bit. I know it doesn't seem like it, but if you look really, really close, the phlox is starting to come back. This is a perennial. This is also the millennial, it's not millennial garlic. It is the serendipity. It's like it has the purple flowers that come up. So we have that. And then I may put some smaller plants in the front. So we'll clean this out. It should be some perennials that pop up and probably some things that have also self-sowed in here. And then if you look over here in this corner, so we're going to clean all of this out. If you look over here in this corner, the daylily is starting to come up as well. And then we're also going to redo this container. I see new growth coming up, so I'm going to cut this back. I'm thinking about changing this one. These were the fall planted ones, although I just really love this color right here. And then we have strawberries right here in a hanging basket that we'll clean up. I feel like the birds are really going to have a time with this. We got strawberries in the ground as well, so I'll think about that too. So I think that would be a good idea. Once I get all 4 raised beds planted up, we'll do like a part 1 of everything that we planted. But if you're just joining us, one of the things that I'm going to do to this bed, I have some more of these. Again, you can use them as supports. I think they're called like ladder reinforcement. You get them at Home Depot, and it's for something with, I don't know, something with building. But I cut them down and I use them as supports. And so what I'm going to do is, because again, I noticed that when the sun was high in the sky today, that these kind of drooped a little bit and they came back. So I know it's not a watering issue because I watered everything when I came in. It's still a little cooler. And then the mulch also helps retain the moisture. And I stuck my finger down in there. So it's not a moisture issue. It's just a problem with the sun. And all of these are cool weather plants, but we're going to dip back down in the 60s and 30s and 40s. So all of these, everything that I'm planting, it will be fine. If you're in Georgia, then you will understand when I say that we have a really short spring and then it's immediately like summer. So I feel like all of these are going to make it before it gets like way, way hot. And so we're going to work on this bed. Let me go ahead, let me mulch that. And then we'll do the other 2 beds because I'm going to pull some things up. I'm going to go ahead and finish harvesting the lacinato kale that we started. These are getting leggy. These are fall planted, so I'll probably pull these up as well. And then we'll get this bed planted. We'll get the other bed planted. And then we will share with you all what we have done like for these 4 beds. Then we'll work on the other 4 beds. Then we'll work on the herb garden. So y'all got to keep me accountable because what I try to do is map out a plan of what I'm going to do. Today, I said that I had to lay some other stuff down in the rose garden, but we'll get to it. Hey, Shirley, how are you? But I'm going to go ahead. Let me get the mulch out of the workshop. I'm going to put a fresh layer on. It's still some mulch left, but it's something about when I plant a new bed, I like for it to look just kind of fresh and kind of look like this. So we're just going to put another layer on, and then probably next week, what's today? Tomorrow's Thursday. Yeah, maybe by Tuesday, we're going to go ahead and the fern leaf lavender that we started from seed. So we'll go ahead and plant this here. And this bed will be complete. Then we'll work on the other ones. I still have cabbage that I have to plant. And then if you all remember, we did a video where we started collards. It's a cross between collards and kale. And I don't want to let that stay in for very long. My whole purpose was to start it and then move it outside because I don't want to have to deal with the whole 7 to 14 day of the hardening process. So we'll do that. And then we have a few more. I started romaine lettuce from seed. So we're just going to plant up a whole bunch of leafy greens. And we have inside of the seed starting room, we got our peppers, we got our tomatoes that's growing good, we got basil that's growing good. So all of those will be ready by the time it is warm enough. So let me go ahead. I got some plants that I got to take back down. It normally takes me about 20 minutes to take everything that I have hardening off during the day, because what I do is when I first start, I'll leave it out for about 2 to 3 hours. Then I'll bring it back in, and then I will leave it out for maybe about 4 to 6 hours, bring it back in, 6 to 8 hours, bring it back in, and we'll just go back and forth. The weather is nice. Again, that night that it probably gets down to 28, well, yeah, I could do that. It'll be fine because all of these are cool weather plants, and then we'll plant them in. So thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. Let me go ahead and wrap things up, get things pulled in, and finish cooking dinner. I hope you all have an amazing evening, an amazing rest of your week, and we'll talk again soon. Bye, y'all.